Bossy is on the prowl. He collects 4 points and comes right back with a hat trick in game number 4. Jerry Cheever says that's enough and orders rookie Luke Dufour to stop Bossy in game 5. The kid from Chicoutimi does a great job. Stays with Bossy like tape to a stick. But cool hand Luke and the Boston Bruins must stop Bossy and the Islanders again tonight to force game 7. Here come the Islanders, and they'll be greeted by a tremendous ovation from their fans as they take the ice here for Game 6 against the Boston Bruins. So the adrenaline pump is heating up here at the Nassau County Coliseum. Hello again, everybody. I'm Brian McFarland, along with Danny Gallivan and Dick Irvin here for this important hockey game, the Islanders and the Boston Bruins. The Islanders have more than fan support going for them here tonight. The home ice advantage means that they'll have larger ice, and that should help them. The Islanders have also been almost unbeatable at home throughout the years in the playoffs, with a 6-1 record this season and only 4 defeats in their last 31 games at home. But the Bruins don't really care all about that. They want to become only the 3rd team in hockey history to be down 3-1 in games and then come roaring back to win the series. Our Stanley Cup playoff coverage on CBC returns in just a moment.
The Boston Bruins in Game 6 of the Stanley Cup semifinals. Will the Prince of Wales Trophy be presented tonight, or will we wait for Game 7 in Boston on Tuesday night? The Islanders don't want to wait. The sellout crowd obviously doesn't want to wait. Let's get it over with. Question now is, how will the Boston Bruins play coming back into this building where they were defeated handily 2 times?
I know what they'd like to do, Jiggs, and you have to know that on the Islanders' side, they better be ready for it. The Boston Bruins are going to open this hockey game like they opened the game back in the Boston Garden the other night when they won 5-1. The Islanders, on the other hand, can't sit back and allow them to do that, because if the Bruins get a goal or 2 up on them, you know how tough they can be. They showed that all season long. They've shown it here in the playoffs when they get ahead. Good point by Terry O'Reilly. The difference in the goal scoring. 3 goals have separated each one of the games, and unlike the games that we expected, the 2-1s, the 3-2s, we're not seeing. So if Boston get ahead of the New York Islanders, it would not be easy for them to get back.
We touched on the fact in the pregame show that Kenny Morrill left the skates, the warm-up, early. He is going to play. He came back and is going to play according to the report we have just received from the Islander dressing room. That means that Paul Boudelier will not dress for this game.
Referee Andy Van Helleman tonight has gone into the Islander dressing room, or he's down the rampway leading to the dressing room, trying to get the Islanders out onto the ice. Wants to get the game started.
It's rather unusual. They normally send a linesman down there to perform that chore, but it was the referee, although he did not go all the way to the dressing room. He must have found somebody who would relay the message. That is linesman Wayne Bonney. Well, the Islanders, here they come, led by goaltender Billy Smith, and that is the next key to the series, or this game at least. Pete Peters in goal for Boston, as you expect, and Billy Smith, who played the first 2 periods of game number 5, is right back in there for the Islanders.
Almost you would expect that. Kudos, though, Jiggs, to Roland Melanson, because when he went into the game in Boston for the last period, he was outstanding. He played fine hockey coming off the bench, having to play the last period, replacing Smith. You know that he's sharp. He's ready to play, but the Islanders are going with the veteran Billy Smith. Kind of had a feeling that that might happen, and they may go the rest of the way without seeing Roland Melanson again.
That could very well be. Well, the Edmonton Oilers are standing by, waiting for the winner of this series. The series could end tonight, or it could go to Boston for Game 7 on Tuesday night. At this point in the series, the Islanders have outscored the Bruins 22-17, but have been outshot by a margin of 174-146. Capacity crowd and a standing ovation for the Islanders. And now,
the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Fine-looking young fella. Hockey night in Canada. Is that what that hat read?
it may have. The referee is Andy Van Helleman. This first game that he has worked in this series. He is joined by Ray Scapanello and Wayne Bonney as the linesman. Pete Peters with a 3.30 goals against average throughout the playoffs. Against the Islanders, he is 3.64 in this series. And you see his record for the year. And there's Billy Smith. That goals against really escalated with 5 goals popped by him in 2 periods in Boston on Thursday night. 8-3-1. 8 wins, 3 losses in the shutout, of course. And Butch Goring is at center ice between Nystrom and Tonelli for the Islanders with Potvin and Persson on the points. The Bruins forced into their own zone. Tonelli into forecheck. It's knocked over. The puck comes up this right side, up to the Boston line for Kasper. Kasper over the Islander line. Waits for some help. Being watched by Persson. Good pass. Krushelinski a shot. Smith the save. And he has it in the pad.
An opening gift to the Boston Bruins, and Billy Smith took it away from them. Point-blank range as the Bruins come out of their own end quickly. And Smith is called upon right in front of him. Look at the shot. It went up a little bit high. Gave him an opportunity. He just held the body right in front of the shot and hung on.
Al Arbor tried to make a late change, sending Morrow out on the ice, but he's not going to be allowed to make it. Referee Van Helleman has sent him back to the bench. You look at Billy Smith as he got set for this face-off, and Potvin has cleared it for Bourne. Now to Butch Goring, down the left side, cuts to the right, over the Boston line, comes right in on goal. Butch Goring shoots, he scores! A solo dash out of his own end of the ice. Rink-link dash for Goring. It's 1-0.
The Boston Bruins had their opportunity. Now it's the Islanders' turn. The veteran Goring, look at the move he laid on Bourque. He fooled Bourque once, and then he fooled him again when he hung on the puck, went to the backhand, and made the score 1-0. Butch Goring on that first move faked the shot, held Peters in the net on the right side, and then put it in behind him as he went to the left. Here's the solo dash through center ice across the blue line, and with 2 good moves, he's made it 1-0.
Oh, that is pretty to watch. The veteran, at 33 seconds, his 4th goal of the playoffs. You think back to Game 6 of the series against the New York Rangers, where Goring almost single-handedly won that game of the series as it turned out. The Islanders bounced one in. Peters appeared to be a little jittery as he handled the puck, and the Bruins tried to come out on this right side. Keith Crowder, long pass to the left wing for McTavish. McTavish centered one off the stick of Billy Smith. He comes out of the net to scoop it up and holds on for a face-off. You think back briefly, however, to game number 5 in the series when the Islanders got the opening goal in Boston and ended up in the short end 5-1 when it was all over.
Bob Nystrom fired that dipping and diving shot that fooled Peters underneath his catching mitt, and it was 1-0 quickly for the Islanders, but McTavish tied it. The Bruins went on to get 4 more goals, and the Islanders didn't get another one.
To take the draw against McNabb. Boston got it back to Kluzak. The pass was knocked down. Here's O'Connell at the line, shooting one around the boards, chased by McTavish. McTavish lost it. Wayne Sutter unable to clear it out, gets bumped. Keith Crowder has poked it into the corner. There's Brent Sutter. Now to Janssen, to the right side to Bourne. He's checked by O'Connell. McTavish with a shot. Smith the save. He looked behind him, but he is holding on to the puck.
He does not want to move. Stationary. That's the key. When the puck is somewhere on you and you don't know where it is, Billy Smith stops another one from close in. Boston Bruins not affected greatly by the 1-goal lead of the Islanders. Goring's 4th goal of the playoffs.
We just had a look at the scratches for the Islanders. Matt Saline, Paul Boudelier, Dave Langevin, Greg Gilbert. Quickly, a look at the Boston scratches. There seems to be some haze as you look up into the lights a moment ago, and I think it's the result of the sparklers that are lit for the playing of the national anthem during the playoffs. There's a lot of that brown, almost L.A. type haze hanging in the air. Potvin to Persson. Persson down the right wing board, shoots it into the Boston zone. Peters back of the net, Brashear in on top of him. Peters created to the corner, came off the glass in an unusual manner, and now Bourque feeds it to Park. Up the left side to Peterson. Peterson dumps it around the boards in the Islanders zone. Gillies got back to knock it away from Middleton. Here's Denny Potvin. His clearing attempt hit Park. Middleton over to the left side. Dufour and Bossy tie up one another. Now the puck goes loose. Persson runs into Dufour. Neither one of them interested in going for the puck. Potvin to Trottier. Ryan Trottier sends Gillies down the left side. Mark Gillies backhands it to Bossy. Dufour had him in his grasp. Out to center ice. Peterson chases a loose puck. Potvin steps in front of him. Around the boards to Persson. Put it right on the stick of Peterson. To Middleton. He shoots. Smith the save. And the puck ends up in the right wing for Bossy. Mike Bossy into center ice. Bossy unable to set up Trottier as it hit Park. Out comes Bork. Then it to Peterson. Peterson to Bork. It went off the stick of Tonelli and also off
by Billy Smith as Middleton gets another shot at Smith. Potvin upends Middleton just as he got the shot away. Look at this shot. Middleton tried to put it between the legs of Billy Smith, but was unsuccessful. Smith has been playing good hockey again here early in the game.
Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the New York Islanders and SportsChannel is prohibited.
We got it all in.
1-0. Islanders on top on Goring's goal, and the Bruins start out. Here's O'Connell. Backhands it into the Islander territory. Billy Smith cuts it off and played it around out of the reach of Tonelli. O'Connell with it. His shot went way wide of the net. Kenny Morrow out on the right side of the Islander defense. Gave it to Tonelli. Tonelli checked it center. Nystrom picked it up, gets over the line, working on Melnick. Bobby Nystrom puts his head down, but out in front. Tonelli had been wrestled to the ice. The fans yelling, but no penalty against Krushelinski. And now Morrow broke up the play at the blue line. Peters back of the net. Tonelli in after it. Has played it around the boards. Here's Bobby Nystrom. Nystrom back to Butch Goring to John Tonelli. Tonelli takes a look in front. Got it to Nystrom off his skates and out of the reach of Goring as he came in after the rebound. Janssen has it at center. Thomas Janssen to Kenny Morrow. Morrow into the center ice zone. Left side to Thomas Janssen. Janssen bounces one in right in front of Peters. With the catching glove on it. Left it for Larry Melnick. Melnick up the right side. Here's Bruce Crowder over center ice. Into the Islander zone. It was knocked off his stick by Potvin. Crowder recovers. Bruce Crowder centers one. Bork screamed in but couldn't hold the puck. Ray Bork back on this right side. Bork starts in. Played it to the far corner. McTavish chases it. Wayne Sutter knocked it away from him and dumped it into the Boston zone. This will get across the goal line and will get an icing call. The Islander net was won by Brent Sutter. Lane around the left wing out of the reach of Bourne. Bruins chase it back into their own zone. Brad Park will pick it up. Park off the right wing, right to Potvin. His drive was blocked. Came right back to Potvin. Into the corner, there's Wayne Sutter. Out in front, out of the reach of Bourne and all of his teammates. So the Bruins move into center ice. Keith Crowder on right wing, gave it to McTavish. McTavish with a shot, hit Cordy Lane and ends up back in the Islander net. McTavish unable to move from back of the goal. Brent Sutter brings it into center ice. Headed it to the open wing. Lane moves up for it. Dumps it into the Boston zone, and that's Brad Park. Park, long pass out of the reach of Keith Crowder. It will be picked up at center by Callard to Janssen. Janssen to Morrow, back to Janssen. Up the right wing it goes to Brent Sutter. Fires a long shot from center ice. The Islanders start to make player changes as the Bruins take over in their own zone. Park gave it to Middleton. Now to Park. Left side at center ice. Dufour dumps it into the Islanders zone. Thomas Janssen is back. Trottier is out with Bossy and Callard for the Islanders at the moment. The Bruins have Dufour out there delayed offside in effect, and the Bruins get control of the puck. Melnick at center ice to Dufour. Checked right at the blue line by Morrow. Now Trottier starts back. Ryan Trottier, right wing to Bossy. That's a drive going. It was deflected wide of the net. Anders Callard bumps into Peterson. The puck comes up the right side for Middleton of the Bruins. Middleton skipped around Janssen, comes over the line, faked his shot, centers one in front, a drive. What a stop by Billy Smith off Peterson. At the blue line, Melnick centered one off Peterson's stick, and Smith dives out to smother the puck.
Shifty, look at the pass. There's the shot by Peterson, point blank range again, and Billy Smith took it away from him.
Boston tried to make a change that would have had Dufour stay out there against Bossy, but they were not allowed to do it, and the Islanders have just shot the puck the length of the ice. Luzak will touch up. Trottier line off, although Trottier is there as the centerman for this face-off. Gillies and Merrick are the other forwards for the Islanders. Barr on the draw, and it went right to Smith, kicks it up the right side. Luzak into the corner for Barr. Morrow tied him up. Bork wants to center one that hit the side of the net. Comes around to Thomas Janssen. Janssen dumps it into the center ice zone. Kluzak shoots it right back in again. And off the glass. Here's Kenny Morrow. Morrow up the boards. Kluzak came in a hurry. Trottier got a piece of him. Merrick picks up the puck. Wayne Merrick is checked. It went loose for Trottier. Ryan Trache from center ice played it off Gillies at the Boston line. And the Bruins able to move over the center ice stripe. Here's Ray Bork. Bork to Kluzak. Comes over the blue line. Cutting to the right was checked, and Mark Gillies takes over. 4 Bruins back in the center ice zone. Gillies drops it to Thomas Johnsson. 1-0. Islanders in front. Johnson's long pass out of the reach of everybody, and it's cleared back and over the line by Melnick, but is called on the score. Tonelli and Nystrom for the Islanders. Persson and Potvin on defense. This is Nystrom upended by Krushelinski. There's a Boston penalty coming up. Billy Smith heads for the Islander bench as Potvin gave it to Nystrom on right wing. His shot deflected. Oh, what a stop by Peters. He was leaning one way, came back with a catching glove, and now the Islanders go to the power play.
Boston, a tripping penalty happened right in the center ice area. Mike Krushelinski. 7:14 is the time of the penalty. There it is. He got his left leg out along with his stick, taking Bob Nystrom off his skates and getting a penalty. The first power play of the hockey game going to the New York Islanders.
Against the Bruins, the Islander power play has been good on 7 of 22 chances in this series. Overall, in the playoffs, 27% efficiency. Against Boston, about 31.8 at the moment. It'll be Trache, Bossy, and Kaller for the Islanders, with Persson and Potvin at the points. Trache in the draw to Bossy, to Persson. In along the boards, out of the reach of Kaller. There's Trache with the back of the net. Trache to Potvin. Held it in at the left point, got it to Trache. Trache into the corner for Anders Kaller. Kaller takes a look, trying to find Bossy, put it into his skates. Bossy is bumped, and it's cleared down the ice by Kasper. 22 seconds gone in the penalty time against Krushelinski as Potvin starts from back of the net. 4 Bruins stretched out at center ice. Now Potvin dumps it around the boards. Bossy goes in after it. Peters played it, but almost misplayed it. Came out in front, and there was nobody there for the Islanders. Peterson has dumped it down the board.
The board showing their age here in the Coliseum, Jiggs. They are not even, and the puck sometimes, like we saw then, will take a bad bounce off the corner boards and come right out in front of the net.
Persson bounces one back to the net. Peters gets checked. It's a cut in front, and Bossy scores. Peters back to the net, gambling. Power play goal has made it 2-0.
He's done it so often, so many times in the series. Came into the series with a reputation of being able to handle the puck well. He has done nothing but handle it poorly. Right there, he knocked it right into the pad of Trache. Look at Bossy all alone, and it's in the net. The Bruins are not going to cover Bossy at that point. They've got possession of the puck, but they only had it for a moment as Peters handed it to Brian Trache. Trache to Bossy, and it's quicker than you can say it. It's in the net. 2-0. A penalty to Krushelinski, a tripping penalty, very costly to the Boston Bruins.
6th goal in this series for Mike Bossy. Here comes at 8:09. Trache and Persson get assists on the goal. So 2-0. A costly penalty to Krushelinski. Even more costly would be the play of Peters back in the net. Now McNabb shoots it around the glass in the Islanders zone. There's Bourne with it to Thomas Johnsson. Johnsson to Morrill. And to Brent Sutter. Starts out 3-on-2. Left wing to Bourne. Across the line, working on Bork. Bork knocks it away from him. Comes right back to Bourne. To Brent Sutter. Brent Sutter trying to get away from Bork's check. Gave the puck to Dwayne Sutter. Turns. Kluzak runs him into the boards. Dwayne Sutter still controlling it. Now it goes to Bork. Bork up this right side. Keith Crowder and on his effort to clear it out initially, and now it goes to Bob Bourne. Bourne drops the puck back to Morrow, to Johnsson. Left side, deflected by Brent Sutter, and into the Boston zone to pick it up is Bork. Give it to Melnick, who comes down the left side. Larry Melnick shoots it wide of Billy Smith. Keith Crowder in after it. Johnsson knocked it away from him, getting it to Brent Sutter. Tonelli and Nystrom are out in the wings together. Tonelli unable to control the pass. O'Connell has flipped it into the Islanders zone. Back for the Islanders is Persson. Krushelinski trying to tie him up. It went to the right side. There's Crowder and Potvin tie up one another. The puck came loose back in the net. Persson and Krushelinski in a battle for it. In comes Goring. Goring up the right side to Potvin, who's cleared it outside the line. Nystrom is knocked down, and the Bruins able to pick it up again. O'Connell with the puck. Mike O'Connell to Krushelinski, comes over the line. A pass to Gillis is knocked down. Gillis picks it up. Went to center one. Persson and Krushelinski go to the boards, and there's Goring. Gets it ahead to Nystrom. Nystrom over the center ice stripe. Works on Melnick as he gets to the Boston zone. Finelli comes in to help out. Knocks the puck into the corner with O'Connell. And out of there comes Nystrom. Bobby Nystrom is checked as O'Connell made contact with his stick. Keith Crowder shoots it into Billy Smith's catching glove. And Morrow is out on defense with Potvin. Picks up the puck. Doesn't seem to have a whole lot of trouble turning. Morrow carries it into center ice. It was knocked off his stick there, and the Bruins have it at their own line. They lost it. Tonelli moves in around Park. Shoots it over wide on the stick side. He turned Park inside out, and now here's Bourque with it. Ray Bourque to Brad Park. Park played it ahead to Middleton across the Bourque. Over center ice. Bourque to the Islander line. Takes a shot. Smith to save. Big rebound. They score. Middleton. And it is 2-1.
It was Ray Bourque as he drilled the puck after crossing the Islander blue line. Smith made the save, kicked the rebound straight out in front of the net. And the opportunist, Middleton, he's shifty, he's smart, and he's quick. He got the rebound. There's Bourque as he got around Ken Morrow. Did have a little trouble making the move. There's the rebound as it went popping out in front of Billy Smith. The Islanders went right by it, but Rick Middleton didn't. He put it in off the goalpost. His 10th of the playoffs makes it 2-1 Islanders.
In this series, Middleton picks up only his second goal. Bourque and Park get assists. And it comes just after Tonelli had really turned Park around. And here's Peterson in the Islander line. There's a penalty coming against the New York Islanders. Loose puck to Middleton, breaks it on goal. He shoots. Smith got a piece of it. Middleton in the corner, left it for Park. Park trying to center, got it to Middleton, to Bourque from the blue line, to Peterson, a shot hit the side of the net. Peterson trying to put it out in front is deflected, and Bossy shoots it down the ice. Now the penalty.
Brian Trache, a tripping penalty, has given the Bruins the man advantage.
Trache's penalty called at 11:22. The Bruin power play good on 1 of every 4 chances thus far. Against the Islanders, that is. Chance to get even here. O'Connell plays it to the right side for Park. To Keith Crowder, it went too far. Potvin moves it to the right side. Willie Carroll shoots it into the Boston zone. Peters will leave it for Park. Park comes off the board. Takes a look at the play as the way it's set up. The pass went to McNabb. Comes over the Islander line on the left side. A pass to O'Connell. O'Connell carries it back to the net. Chased wide by Pearson. Here's Park at the point to O'Connell. Back to Park. Park across to McNabb. Comes in deep centers. O'Connell moves in. His shot was blocked by Potvin. O'Connell to Park. Park back to O'Connell. Missed him with the feed, and it ends up back in the net. Potvin trying to come out of the corner. Falls. The puck is beneath him. No whistle, however, came loose and held in by McTavish. McTavish into the corner. O'Connell down to Keith Crowder. Crowder went back in the net for McNabb, who had to knock it out of the air. Now he gets tied up by both Goring and Potvin, and there's no further play.
Have to go back quickly to a moment ago. Good opportunities again by the Boston Bruins. Billy Smith having another tremendous first period as the Bruins pepper away at him from point-blank range. The Islanders guilty on several occasions of playing the puck where they should be playing the man. Not such the case here. Of course, Brian Trache still serving his tripping penalty. 52 seconds remaining in that penalty. The Bruins would love nothing better than to tie the score here on a power play.
It's Peterson against Bourque on the draw. Came back to O'Connell, but the whistle sounded. False start on the drop of the puck, so they'll line up again. Goring, Bourne, Morrow, and Johnson for the Islanders. Peterson got the draw back to Bourque. He shoots that one over top of the net. Wide as well. Krushelinski being bothered by Morrow. Comes out of the corner, centered. Smith got a piece of it as Middleton was parked on the open side, but the Islanders able to clear it. Here's O'Connell starting from behind the net. O'Connell to the left side. Krushelinski across the line, gave it to Bourque. Bourque to the point for O'Connell, in front to Middleton. It hit Johnson as he fell in front of it, and Billy Carroll breaks out. Carroll across the Boston line, cuts to the right, rags the puck a little, and drops it back to Johnson. Johnson up the left side to Bourne. Bob Bourne weakly into the Boston zone. Bourne with a burst of speed, walks in around Bourque, a backhander. Peters got a piece of it. It's at the side of the net, but the whistle apparently had sounded on an offside back at the Boston blue line.
The fans are noisy. They love it when the Islanders take control of the puck, particularly someone like Bob Bourne with his great speed brings the people out of their seats. The whistle was not heard, as Carroll charged down the left wing side. Bourne went offside. Let's take a look. Here's Bourne. The whistle is blown at this point, but no one seems to hear it. Bork does. That's why you see him let up. And Bourne goes racing in for a backhand shot. He still wants to play the puck, even though the whistle had blown some time earlier.
3 seconds left in the penalty to Trottier, although the Bruins are trying to get some time tacked on to that. We'll see what the result is. Referee Van Helleman is talking with the timekeepers. Now it is back up to 6 seconds.
Only one player on either the Bruins or the Islanders has scored a point in each of the games they've played against each other to date. Barry Peterson, 4 goals and 3 assists. He has scored a point in at least one time in each one of the games.
Bob Bourne and Anders Kaller will be the Islander forwards. You look at Brian Trottier with 6 seconds to serve in his tripping penalty. On the draw, here's Brad Park. Park plays it up the left side to Casper. That's Dufour in the left wing, trying to center one. Aims at 6's side again. Johnson behind the net, being bothered by Casper, who's in forechecking, and they've
the Mets, didn't I, Jiggs? How about what they did last night, huh? I told you they were just lulling and everybody's into a doldrum. Now they're coming on.
I seem to remember you saying something along those lines. On more than one occasion, as a matter of fact.
That's all right. Listen, you got to start somewhere. They just started.
Luzak got the puck to Casper, and he's checked by Morrow at the Islander blue line. Into center ice comes Bossy, right side to Kaller, over the Boston line. Kaller in front to Trottier, hit Park, and went right to Peters, who puts the catch.
Will Tessier go to the Canadiens, and Bob Berry, who has been fired as the coach in Montreal, end up in Chicago with his old buddy, his old roommate, Robert Jesse Pulford, who is the GM there. Potvin back to pick up the puck in his own zone. Got it to Clark Gillies. Right side. It was intercepted by McTavish, and he is bumped solidly by Potvin. Gordy Lane with it again. Lane from back of the net. Managed to get it out of his own territory. Clark Gillies comes back. Was knocked away from him. Brent Sutter is there as well. They lean into Krushelinski on the boards, and Potvin picks it up. Now sticks come up, and the arm of referee Van Helleman is up in the air as well. Clark Gillies and Krushelinski not happy with one another. Now the linesmen Bonnie and Scapanello get between them. Clark Gillies apparently drawing the only penalty. It'll be a high sticking call. Van Helleman not even looking at Krushelinski at the moment. There's a break in the action with the score.
In the penalty box. 5:25 remaining in the first period, and they trail by 1.
O'Connell from back of his own goal. He and Bork are together on defense. Peterson, Middleton, and Krushelinski the forwards for Boston. Bork lost the puck, gave it to Goring. O'Connell got back to take over for the Bruins. Now to Peterson, out of the reach of Krushelinski with the pass. Stephen Persson tries to fire it out of there and hit Peterson. Barry Peterson to Ray Bork. A drive. Persson rather sacrificed himself to block that. Bork from the point. It hit Potvin and went out on the far side. There's Middleton. Middleton to Peterson. Peterson back to O'Connell at the left point. To Barry Peterson, who lost it, and Persson slaps it into center ice. 45 seconds gone in the penalty to Gillies.
Tell me that long reach isn't helpful. Stephon Persson has it, and he just used it.
Now Peterson and Bork moved it back and forth. This is Peterson controlling it. Peterson missed Krushelinski, who looked one way and then went the other, and the puck is cleared to center, and a breakaway for Billy Carroll. He and Bourne move in all alone. Billy Carroll comes in, shoots. Peters makes the save and covers up. Oh my! Short-handed opportunity for Billy Carroll, and Peters came up with the stop.
A good stop by Peters as Billy Carroll and Bob Bourne, they both broke away, and Boston caught napping. Let's take a look. There goes Billy Carroll right behind him. Is Bourne looking back, going to interfere with any Bruin that tries to get to Billy Carroll as he tries to put it in behind Peters. Rebound. Bourne tries to slap it in. Here's the move by Carroll. He's got his head up. He knows where he wants to put it, but Peters outguessed him. He went down quickly, got his catching glove in front of the puck and knocked it out of the air. Tough break for Billy Carroll. He's had several opportunities throughout the playoffs to get a short-handed goal. He did it once. Harry's breaking away. Jiggs in pursuit. O'Connell, there's the shot. He was looking for the top right-hand corner as he faces the net, but Peters outguessed him.
51 seconds remaining in the high sticking penalty to Clark Gillies.
That wouldn't have meant curtains by any stretch of the imagination, but it would have been a big plus for the Islanders, and they've been able to get that one by Pete Peters. Carroll and Goring are the forwards. Johnson and Morrow on defense. McTavish will take the face-off against Carroll. The puck dropped, and the Bruins get control of it. There's Bourque. Ray Bourque right in front of the net, played it dangerously. Brad Park able to recover, then had to turn to get away from Goring. Now McNabb to Keith Crowder, knocked it down, couldn't control it, and Goring races in with Carroll. 2-on-1. Goring right in on goal. His backhander hit Park. Comes loose and brought out by Bourque. Bourque into center ice. Over the Islander line, Ray Bourque is checked by Thomas Johnson, and the Islanders have cleared it to center. 20 seconds remaining in Gillies' penalty. Park and Bourque on the Boston defense. It's Bourque backhanding it across to McTavish, who knocked it down. Ray Bourque on a stick on it, recovers, dumps one in front out of the reach of McTavish. McTavish back to Park. Park takes a look, being bothered by Bourne as he gave it to Bourque. Bourque to McNabb. McNabb out to McTavish. He scores! McTavish on a power play just after the penalty to Gillies, and that expired by a couple of seconds.
The jubilation, Jiggs, on the bench of the Boston Bruins, well deserved as they get a power play goal. Clark Gillies was in the penalty box. I guess he got out just in time. Let's take a look. Right at the point, that's Bourque to Peter McNabb. There's his pass to McTavish, and with one quick swoop, he puts it in over the catching mitt of Billy Smith. He did it the right way, did not handle the puck. He shot it immediately. He got it on the net, and it's tied at 2 apiece. His third goal of the playoffs to McTavish. A big goal, an important goal for the Boston Bruins with the period winding down. 3:26 remaining. The Bruins, who have tied the score, they fell behind 2-0 when Goring and Bossy scored. Since then, Middleton and now McTavish have tied the game.
And you think of the way the Islanders had riddled the Boston power play for the most part. The penalty to Gillies had expired by 2 seconds when McTavish scores to tie it up. Gordy Lane, back of his own goal, being bothered by Gillis of Boston. Got it around to Tonelli, to Potvin, up the middle to Nystrom, and went off his stick, and there's Kluzak. Or Kluzak missed Casper with the pass. Lane for the Islanders. Gives it to John Tonelli, now to Merrick. Over to Nystrom on right wing. Nystrom shot. Peters the save. Merrick went back to the net as he knocked it out of the air, and it's picked up by Gillis. Mike Gillis tries the left side with a pass for Steve Casper. Casper gave it to Kluzak. Into the Islanders' zone. Kluzak with a shot that hit Potvin. There's Gordy Lane handling it. The pass to Nystrom, and he was bumped immediately by Casper. Nystrom bumped into Bruce Crowder as Lane moved it around behind the net. Gillis in forechecking. Now Merrick back for the Islanders. Up the left side, out of the reach of Tonelli. Brad Park forces the Islanders to go even deeper. Billy Smith moves it to the left side for Tonelli, and across it goes to Nystrom, but out of his reach. Peterson left it for Melnick. The Islanders pick it up inside their own blue line. The complete player changes. Al Arbor has sent Brian Trottier out there. Tonelli one-hands it into the center ice zone. Picked up by Melnick. He is checked from the boards by Trottier, and Potvin takes the puck. His pass to Nystrom missed. Dufour turns at center ice with 2 minutes to play in the period. Potvin stripped him to the puck. Dufour recovers, lost it again, picks it up again. Into the Islanders' zone. Luke Dufour goes back of the net. A rookie into the far corner, stops, plays it behind the net, and is taken by Morrow. Kenny Morrow banks one off the boards. It got away from Park. It'll go all the way to Peters, and he'll just cover up and force a face-off. Brian Trottier on the face-off for the Islanders has Bossy on the right, Caller on the left. The Bruins got control of it. We watch Mike O'Connell move it out of his own zone. O'Connell across the line. His shot hit Johnson, but the whistle had sounded on an offside. Others, Eddie Chadwick has been scouting for the Edmonton Oilers, and they also have one of your old playmates here tonight. Ace Bailey.
Darn it, Ace Bailey.
Trottier with the puck at center ice, dumps it into the Boston zone. Bossy in his pursuit of it ran into Bourque. Peters out of the net again. There's Caller jabbing it loose. Back of the goal. Into the corner for Bossy. Sidestep the check from Dufour. Bossy trying to come out. Dufour all over him. Dragged him down. And the Bruins start out. Middleton sent Peterson over the line. They moved up 3-on-2. Then Caller tried to knock it away from Peterson. Janssen fed it to the line, but not out. Peterson over to Middleton. Middleton, long pass, intercepted by Trottier. Ran into Bourque, and the puck's brought it back in by Middleton. Check. And Trottier starts out 3-on-2. The pass to Janssen. Janssen over the line, cuts to the inside, gave it to Bossy. Back to Janssen. Janssen a drive. That went wide of the net. Comes to Peterson.
Harry Peterson just put it into the center ice zone. Brought back again by Bourne. Ran into Bork. Bourne circles at center ice. There's the speed. Bourne across the line. The pass to Brent Sutter. A backhand shot. He scores!
A lot of the attention was going to Bossy and Trottier. The Islanders changed quickly on the fly. And with Bob Bourne using his speed to get around Peterson, fed the puck to Brent Sutter, and a bad angle. Look at the backhand shot. He was almost equal to the goal line, and he beat Peters. A bad goal for Peters to allow in a hockey game like this. Good shot by Brent Sutter, and he put it in behind Peters with 24 seconds remaining in the first period, and the Islanders have regained a one-goal lead. Brent Sutter, his 7th goal of the playoffs.
And 3 have come against the Boston Bruins and Pete Peters. Big goal, as you pointed out, with time running down here in the first period. Bourne gets the only assist on the goal, and the Islanders have forced the Bruins back into their own zone.
Right over the leg that he collapsed. That's a sign that he's not sure of what he's doing.
Now Brent Sutter threads the needle to Bourne, works on Park. 3 seconds left as he cuts in. He shoots Peters the save. Bourne right over top of him. The horn sounds ending the period. And Pete Peters leads the Bruins to the dressing room. There was about a split second left when Bourne made this effort.
He's one of the few players that has enough speed to get in that quickly. He got in behind Park, he got in behind Bork, and with that backhand shot, he drove Peters to the ice to make another good save as the Islanders press to the final buzzer of the first period.
And that is the end of the opening period with our score. The New York Islanders 3, the Boston Bruins 2. They also lead the series by 3-2. Peter McNabb will celebrate a birthday tomorrow. Will take the face-off for Boston against Brent Sutter of the Islanders. It was Sutter's goal at 19:36 of the opening period that has staked the Islanders to this lead of 3-2. O'Connell. Keith Crowder, who backhanded it wide of Billy Smith, is picked up and shot around the boards by Potvin. Bourne unable to knock it away from O'Connell on the first attempt. Tries to freeze it now and succeeds. We're going to face off to the left of the Islander net. Playing with Trottier and Bossy at the moment. Trottier won the face-off. Ersan left it for Potvin. Peterson into forecheck for Boston. He, Dufour, and Middleton are the forwards. So they're, at the moment, playing Dufour against Bossy again here at the Coliseum.
But if the Islanders win tonight.
Oh, you had me worried there for a minute. I thought maybe this game didn't mean anything.
Well, I had to, I should preface it, I suppose, but I had to leave it at the end, keep everybody in suspense.
All right, Potvin had it knocked off his stick as he got into the Boston zone. Now he and Middleton bumped. The puck loose back of the net. Bossy put it out in front. There was nobody there for the Islanders, and Peterson starts down the ice with Middleton, who takes the pass on right wing. Middleton shot it right at Clark Gillies. Rick Middleton recovers, got it to Peterson. Peterson out in front, went behind Park. Bossy starts down the right side, 2-on-1 with Gillies. They move inside Bork and shot. He scores! Bossy!
You know the Islanders, if they get the opportunities, they will not waste them. That's how they win hockey games. They win Stanley Cup. And nobody does it better. Look at the line of fire. Bossy right under the arm of Peters. A hard slap shot. He's got Clark Gillies racing down the left wing side. Bork stretches out trying to break up the play. But Bossy has found the mark. 2 goals in a minute and 23 seconds. And the Islanders get a 2-goal lead.
Well, they had that by the 8:09 mark of the first period, only to have the Bruins come back. Let's see what happens here.
Bossy's second of the game.
13th in the playoffs is unassisted at the 59-second mark. The Bruins move up to the Islander line and move in offside as McTavish gets bumped. Goes after Wayne Sutter from behind. Morrow steps in. Wayne Sutter had given him
For 4th place in the all-time scoring lead. Cornway, 64 goals.
Now Brent Sutter gets over the Boston line is checked. Bossy is 1 goal behind the mark of Peterson and the mark of Messier as far as goal scoring in the playoffs. Brent Sutter, a backhander, Peters the save, and Wayne Sutter couldn't wrap in a shot by O'Connell. Here's Bourne with the puck. Bob Bourne unable to set up his teammates. Keith Crowder for the Bruins, fed it to McNabb down the left side into the Islanders zone. McNabb to Keith Crowder. He's chased to the corner by Johnson. McNabb was spilled. McTavish gets it back to McNabb. Morrow all over top of him. The Bruins will be content with the face-off, but the puck is loose again. McNabb trying to come out of the corner. Gave it to Bork, who's in deep, goes back to the net. There's Wayne Sutter. Wayne Sutter to the left wing for Bob Bourne. Out of his own zone to center. Bourne works around O'Connell as he cuts to the right. Around Bork, put it out in front. There's Brent Sutter on the far side. Sutter trying to get around McTavish, gave it to Bourne. Bob Bourne to Dwayne Sutter. Nice to center. It's in Brent Sutter's skates. A backhander, and Peters got the right pad in front of it. Bork starts out for Boston. Ray Bork sends Bruce Conner over the line. Bork got it back again. A shot on target. Smith the save as Bork let one go through a screen.
Many people, I should say. Tuesday night. Boston has come from behind before in this hockey game and other hockey games. Let's see if they can do it again.
If the Islanders win here tonight, the finals would open Tuesday in Edmonton. Trottier has poked the puck over the Boston line, but Park was right there. Brad Park up the middle to Krushelinski. Across the Islander line, Mike Krushelinski handed it to Denny Potvin. The Islander captain shoots it around the boards to the right side for Nystrom and comes out to center ice. This is Casper. Steve Casper got it to Melnick. Melnick shoots it into the Islander zone. It bounces around the boards. Potvin with it. Potvin to Nystrom. Knocked it away from Melnick. It was held in by Krushelinski. Now goes off the glass and will be picked up by Lane. Gordy Lane tries the left wing. Tonelli couldn't get a stick on it. Neither could Park. The Bruins had the last chance. Didn't touch it. There's no icing here as Peters leaves it for Park. Up the left side to Casper. Out of his reach. Held in by Tonelli. Then he couldn't control it. Casper gave it to Krushelinski. Back to Casper at the Islander line. He reached behind to make contact.
The barrel.
That's not easy to do.
It is now.
Johnson poking the puck in the Boston zone, and Kluzak has fired it into the center ice area. There's Morrow with it. Over to Johnson. Thomas Johnson back to Morrow. Gave it to Brian Trottier. Comes over the center ice stripe. Backhanded it in wide of Peters. In quickly goes Caller. Caller chased back to the net by O'Connell. Bossy is knocked down out in front. Dufour is all over him. Fans yelling about that as Johnson waits at the Boston line for Caller to get untangled with O'Connell. He stumped it into the Bruins zone. Peters out of the net. Handles the puck. Gave it right to Trottier. Shot. Peters got his shoulder in front of it. And there's Kluzak. Kluzak to Peterson. Into center ice, out of the reach of Middleton at the Islander blue line, and Johnson has given it to Caller. But now offside is called for the draw. He is between Nystrom and Clark Gillies at the moment. Merrick has been knocked down. The puck is beneath him, and finally the whistle sounds, and Merrick will sort of tell you about that. The date and starting time, but you may want to make note of a fashion show involving wives of the Islanders coming up in June. Persson with the puck. Gave it to Potvin, out to Merrick, now to Gillies. Three Bruins back. Gillies dumped it across the line, but right to Park. Potvin had to go back for the Islanders. Bruins sent two men into forecheck. It didn't help. Nystrom with the pass across to Gillies. His shot hit Park's stick and ends up in the seat.
In history, they have a 667% winning average. That's ahead of Montreal now, who has that 615.
Here's Bork for the Bruins out in front. A shot off Smith and into the back of the net. The score is now 4-3. A wrestling match going on in front of the Islander goal. It's not going to change the score. A little shoving with Randy Hillier involved from the Boston side of things with Thomas Johnson from the Islanders. And Ray Bork has cut the margin to a one-goal lead for the Islanders.
They let him come out of the corner all alone. Bork challenged Billy Smith. Smith got a piece of the puck, but he did not get enough as Bork goes after the puck with Gord Lane. Bork, using his strength, takes Lane down. Here he comes out from the side of the net. No one in front, and there's the backhand shot. Billy Smith got a piece of it with his right pad, but it deflected between his legs and trickled into the net. Here's the solo effort by Ray Bork as he pulls the puck in front of the net and lets go with the backhand that Smith got some of, but not enough. And it's 4-3. Bork, his 8th goal of the playoffs, has given the Boston Bruins another hope.
And you're going to look at Thomas Johnson without the helmet for a moment. He's in the penalty box along with Hillier.
Take a look again as Bork stopped quickly, changed direction, came right out in front of the net. And he can make things happen He's got speed, he's smart, and he shoots the puck hard. It's his backhand this time that did the damage.
So now with the teams playing at 5-a-side as a result of the roughing penalties called at 5:01, we watch Bourne across the Boston line. The puck slipped off his stick. Taken by Kluzak. Kluzak bothered by Kaller as he gave it to O'Connell. O'Connell comes out of his own zone into the Islander territory. His shot fit the stick save, and he clears it aside for Kaller. Anders Kaller and Bob Bourne are the forwards. The pass to Potvin. Bouncing off him, he recovers it at center ice. Ahead to Bourne, steps across the line, trying to come in around Kluzak, and was taken off the puck. The Bruins have shot it down the ice. This will result in an icing call against Boston. 1 minute and 17 seconds left in those penalties to Hillier and Janssen.
Scoring goes on. Bossy, if he gets another goal tonight, Jiggs, of course, he'll have the hat trick. And that will only tie a Mark Messier, who this year already has got 3 hat tricks in the playoffs. As a Bruins fan, I guess.
The matters you got a deal on the shirt, huh?
Pretty sure.
Now Trache and Bossy for the Islanders. Lane and Morrow on the points. Krushelinski on the draw, won by Trache. Ryan Trache parks in the corner, then sneaks back to the net. Kluzak all over top of him. A backhander. Bossy shoots and scores! Bossy! Oh, my! Here come the hats.
We just talked about it. He just did it. Ryan Trache brought the puck from behind the net, put it out in front, and the rest of it was up to Bossy. George Kluzak, number 6, as he tries to hold Bossy. There's the pass. Peters had a piece of the puck, had a chance to smother it, but it skidded across the goal crease, right to Mike Bossy, and bang, in front of O'Connell, Bossy gets his hat trick and ties Mark Messier's NHL record of 3 hat tricks in 1 playoff year.
And there are 3 sombreros at least on the ice. Look at them. One, the black one, came from Tom Tye. The other 2 are somebody picking up on his hat.
Mike Bossy has completed the hat trick at 5:51 of the second period. It is a 5-3 Islander lead. There are more than just hats in the pile now.
50 seconds is all it took between Ray Bork and Mike Bossy.
Ray Scapanello, the linesman's getting ready for a garage sale. Tag sale or whatever you call it.
The hat trick, Jake. Bossy has also tied an NHL record for hat tricks in a series. 2. There's Kluzak on Trache. You see Trache duck just underneath the long reach of Kluzak to get a little leverage on him, and he put it out in front. Bossy drilled it in.
Teams remain at 5-a-side. Still a minute and 10 seconds remaining in those roughing penalties to Hillier and Janssen that came at the same time as Bork's goal to cut the margin to 1. So the Islanders again tonight get 5 goals by Pete Peters. Something that a lot of teams failed to do in the regular season. Here's Bossy cutting it on the right side. Bothered, got it back to Stefan Persson. A drive over top of the net. Bossy with the loose puck. Chased to the corner and knocked down by Bork. Ray Bork one-hands it over to O'Connell. The Middleton checked in his own zone. Here's Bossy teeing one up. Can't cut between Middleton and Peterson, and up they come. 2-on-1 with Persson. Potvin hustling back. Peterson couldn't pick up the pass from Middleton. It ended up in his skates. Trache rounds the net. Out of his own zone to center ice on right wing. Trache slaps it around Bork. Peters moves out of the net to handle the puck. Left it for Park. Up to McNabb. McNabb over the center ice stripe. A bouncing puck to contend with, and it slipped off his stick as he looked up to see Gordy Lane. Billy Smith moves it to the right wing, and it'll be held in by Park. His drive deflected and just wide as McNabb tipped it in front of the net. This is Kenny Morrow feeding it to Tonelli. Tonelli out of his own zone, neatly to center ice across the Boston line. Is knocked down by Park, who slid into him. Big Kluzak knocked it away from Tonelli. Morrow managed to hold it in. Tonelli puts it out in front. Blocked by Park, gives it to McNabb, and across to the right side, it'll be picked up by McTavish. McTavish into the Islander zone, trying to cut around Lane, goes back to the net. Frank McTavish puts on the brakes, makes the play, and it was blocked by Morrow. McTavish gets it again. Keith Crowder centers off McNabb's stick. Peter McNabb works it back to the net. Keith Crowder chasing it, but there's Nystrom. Nystrom unable to clear it out, put it right on McNabb's stick. Comes in off left wing, centers. The play is called. We've got an interference penalty. Well, 14. It seemed to happen on the far side of the ice, and it'll give the Islanders a power play advantage and a break in the action. The Islanders lead.
Keith Crowder gets a penalty. Interference penalty. You see him take Nystrom down, giving some skating room to Peter McNabb, but he was nabbed on the penalty, and he's in the slammer.
7:46 is the time of that penalty. The date for the New York Islander Wives Fashion Show, 521752. That's area code 516, I'm sure. 7521752. So the Bruins a man short as the Islanders start from their own zone. Denny Potvin over center ice. Couldn't get across the line as the Bruins were stretched out. They have Park, Bork, Casper, and Krushelinski killing off the penalty. Bork slaps one off the boards. Johnson got a stick on it. Into Dwayne Sutter. Back to Johnson. Across to Potvin. Gave it to Bourne. Bourne centers. Knocked out in front, and Brad Park has flipped it off the boards and into the Islander zone. And now a little stick work going on. Brent Sutter and Bork have drawn the attention of referee Andy Van Helleman. The linesman there as well. Well, we're going to get some more penalties. Things begin to become chippy here at the Coliseum. A break in the action with our score.
He gets a slashing penalty right in front of Billy Smith. Bork and Brent Sutter exchanged some unpleasantries. Brent Sutter got a high sticking penalty, and Bork gets a slashing penalty.
They're having a little trouble getting everything up against 5. That's because Crowder was already serving an interference penalty. Keith Crowder. Now Kaller has shot it around the boards. It got away from Peters. Johnson in off the right point. It skipped away from him, and O'Connell has cleared it into center. Right back to Trottier. He and Kaller across the line together, and the pass broken up as Park moved in. Now Krushelinski and Trottier buck. Park knocked Trottier down. Potvin feeds it across to Johnson. Thomas Johnson in from the right point. Out it to Bossy. Krushelinski chasing him. Krushelinski without a stick. Johnson to Potvin. He shoots. Peters got a piece of it. Comes back to Johnson. Johnson around to Kaller back of the net. Anders Kaller draws a crowd. Managed to clear the puck to the corner for Johnson, who's in deep. Thomas Johnson gives it to Potvin. To Bossy at the right point. Bossy across to Johnson. It was tipped by O'Connell, and Johnson recovers outside the line. Thomas Johnson back into the Boston zone. O'Connell drags him down. Bossy in front to Trottier, and Peters broke up the pass. Gary Peterson for Boston. Carries it over the center ice stripe into the Islander zone with a slap shot that hit Potvin. Here's Trottier. Ryan Trottier leads the rush into center ice. 3 Bruins at the line. Trottier played it around Park, but the whistle did not sound. Kaller picks it up. Kaller being bothered by Brad Park. Kaller got it to Trottier. He and Park in a battle for it. Trottier gets it back of the net to Bossy. Teams at 6 aside. The puck right at the side of the net. Bossy trying to jab it away from O'Connell. Finally succeeds. Bossy comes back to the net. Put it out in front. O'Connell blocked it. There's Kaller. Bossy shoots. Peters the save. Bossy again. He scores! Mike Bossy doing it all by himself. Has 4 goals in this game.
And the game is a long way from over. We just passed the halfway mark. And Bossy has recorded another goal, his 4th of the hockey game. Here's the action around the net. O'Connell down, Park down, 3 Islanders standing. Down goes the goaltender, and the puck goes in. And Mike Bossy has his 3rd goal of the period, his 4th of the game, as the puck came loose, and with 3 Boston Bruins laying on the ice, no Islanders laying on the ice, Mike Bossy has jammed in another goal.
And Bossy now is tied for the scoring lead. Well, he has taken over the lead, I should say, in the playoffs.
Time of the goal, 10:03.
10:03, the time of that goal.
4th of the game and 15th of the playoffs.
Well, it's a 6-3 lead as the Islanders
dump it back into the Boston zone. Assist to Kaller and Trottier. At 10:03, Kluzak slaps it around the boards out to center ice where Kenny Morrow will pick it up. He goes back into his own zone to regain control. Morrow around to the far side. There's Middleton centering. Oh, and it was shot wide by Mike Gillis. Nystrom goes the other direction with a pass to Gordy Lane. Up the boards, intended for Tonelli. Lane pokes it to the line where Park knocked it down, and his long shot drifted wide of Billy Smith. Morrow and Middleton went to the corner together. Middleton trying to center. Goring back-checking, got it to Nystrom. Nystrom bumped on the boards. Peterson comes out in front. His shot went wide of the net as Middleton cut through to screen Smith. This is Kenny Morrow finding an opening and shooting at the length of the ice. The result will be an icing call here and a break in the action.
With playoff competition, the record is held at 7 by none other than Rocket Richard.
Now the Islanders come over center ice. The Sutter brothers teamed up with Bob Bourne again. Wayne Sutter into the corner along with Brent. Brent with the puck put it out in front, but it was cut off by Bourque. Ahead to Dufour. Dufour into center, gave it to Bruce Crowder, who comes over the line, dropped it to Bourque. He is checked. There's Brent Sutter with Wayne. Melnick the lone man back. They're across the line together. The pass to Wayne Sutter. He shoots, hit the side of the net. Comes bouncing off the boards. Bourne gets tangled up with Bruce Crowder. Bruce Crowder able to control the puck, however, and brings it into center ice. His pass to Krushelinski to the Islander line. Mike Krushelinski is checked. Wayne Sutter feeds it to Brent. Brent Sutter and Gillies cross the line. Brent Sutter holding the puck, plays it around the boards. Peters went back in the net, left it for Dufour. Up the right side, Crowder tangled up with Wayne Sutter. The puck goes to Clark Gillies to the open wing. Pearson at the point. Worked it along the boards, and there's Melnick. Got it to Dufour. Dufour over center ice. Dukes it into the Islander zone. We have just over 7 minutes remaining here in the second period. The Islanders were up 3-2 at the end of the first. And added 3 here in the second period, all by Bossy. Merrick trying to put one out in front. It was broken up, and the Islanders the Bruins at least come to center ice. McNabb unable to pick up the puck. Kenny Morrow unable to clear it out of his own zone now. McNabb moves in. He and Johnson in a battle for it, and Johnson won the battle. Got it to Merrick, to Nystrom, across to Clark Gillies. Back to Nystrom, and Kluzak got a stick on that at the blue line. Here's McTavish coming down right wing. McTavish into the Islanders zone, cuts to the left, back to Kluzak. Kluzak shot went bouncing off Merrick. Came out in front of the net and was grabbed by Billy Smith. There's a break in the action. 7 minutes to play in the second period, and the score is the Islanders 6, the Bruins 3.
No other Islander has done what he has just done. Scored 4 goals in a playoff game.
He is remarkable. They talk about Gretzky, Messier, Anderson, and those Oilers. The Islanders not without their own firepower. Now Bob Bourne across to Bossy on the right side. Stuffed it into the corner, picked up by Bourne, slaps at it. It goes around the boards to Morrow at the right point. Kenny Morrow shot, tip, Peters the save. Trottier with a loose puck. Comes in front, he scores!
This time with only 3 Boston Bruins down on the ice. The Bruins desperately trying to protect the goal, and in doing so, they give the Islanders opportunity after opportunity. Brian Trottier this time wrinkles the twine. Ken Morrow kept the puck in. There's the shot. Peters made a fine save. Here's the rebound. There's 1. Peters is 2. And O'Connell goes down and trying to block the shot. As you watch the players scrambling all over the ice, and Brian Trottier easily put it in. Completely disorganized are the Boston Bruins. Rick Middleton has gone to the Bruin dressing room. He just walked off the ice. Not the kind of player that's just going to walk off. Something has happened to Rick Middleton, so he's gone to the dressing room.
Morrow and Bourne are credited with assists on that goal by Trottier at 13-14. Bob Bourne with 3 assists at this point in the game. 7-3, and the fans have begun to chant Tuesday night. In reference, of course, to the Islanders playing in Edmonton Tuesday. If Boston pulls off a miracle here tonight, we'll be back at the Boston Garden Tuesday. The puck has been frozen in the corner to the right of the Islander net with just over 6 minutes, left in the second period.
don't know what that chant is.
It's Peters.
Oh.
Peters. They're singing now to Pete Peters. Well, I've often thought, and I think I mentioned it the other night, about a mental block with Pete Peters coming back in here, thinking back to the Islanders' first Stanley Cup, the overtime win, the goal by Bobby Nystrom that beat him in the Philadelphia uniform.
You think that would be on his mind, Jiggs, at all?
I think so.
I disagree. I think once these games start, you don't have time to think about that particular thing. That's in the past. It was with another team. If it was there, he would have to work very hard at getting it out of his head. Now, he's had such a good season. He led the league almost the whole year with his goals against average. That I would think that would be easily to dismiss from your mind, coming to another team, different surroundings. But, you know, who knows? You'd have to ask him. Maybe it is true.
He's such a sensitive individual. That's why I feel that it has bothered him.
I would have to think that if Bobby Nystrom scored an overtime goal to win a Stanley Cup championship off him, it's not necessarily going to be just his fault that the goal got in.
Well, that's true enough. Peters, a likable young man. We watched the Bruins move into center ice. The Islander line was dumped in by Dave Barr. Gary Cheevers using more of his roster now. Down by a 7-3 score, and here's Merrick with the puck. The pass right on Nystrom's stick. Bobby Nystrom to Merrick, cuts in, centered one in front. Peters got a piece of it. Well, it was not the Westfalls.
Oh, no.
It wasn't the Espositos.
No, I'll give you a hint. It goes back to 30 years ago, a little over 30 years ago.
I wasn't even around then, 18.
Bill and Max Quackenberg. Isn't that something? With all the brothers that go on, you have to go all the way back to them on the Boston Bruins roster.
Here's one of the Islander brother combination of Wayne and Brent Sutter with Bourne. They couldn't jab it by Peters, had him down. He is without his blocking glove, now gets it back on as the puck comes to the right point. Pearson shot it back in offside, and Butch Goring is at center ice between Nystrom and Tonelli for the Islanders. The puck comes back to Melnick. Park returned it to Melnick. Grushelinski is at center ice. Dufour on one side, Bruce Crowder on the other. This is Grushelinski cutting in for the Bruins. A backhand pass cut off by Nystrom as he steps in front of Dufour. Nelly on the left side. Long pass to Goring at center ice. Oh, what a move around Park. Down to Nystrom, and it was wide as Dufour stepped in front of Nystrom. He got back in a hurry. Bruce Crowder lays a neat pass to Dufour at center ice, and shot from the blue line went wide of the net. Dufour trying to pick it up. Lane all over top of him. Gordy Lane is right there with Grushelinski, and at 49. Lane, a high stick. That's up the Boston power play.
Andy Van Helleman guarding against anything breaking out in a situation like this. Frustration on the part of the Bruins. And with Gord Lane still hitting around the boards and in the corners, he doesn't want to have anything ugly to break loose.
Third power play of the night for the Boston Bruins as you look at the official score sheet down at the penalty box and at the penalized player. His name was being enshrined in the Stanley Cup records forever and ever at that particular moment as you watched it. Sitting here on history, aren't we, with Sports Channel tonight?
No question, Jiggs. History is made right here in the Nassau Coliseum.
Ray Bourque starts this Boston power play. Pulled it away from Goring, comes over the Islander line. Across to Brad Park, moves in with a shot. Smith the pad save, the big rebound when bouncing to Potvin. Potvin finds an opening, clearing it down the ice. Brad Park takes it from Peters. Billy Carroll into forecheck along with Bourne. Now Middleton on the right side. His pass into the skates of Bourne is recovered by Park. Brad Park to Peter McNabb. McNabb trying to waltz around Billy Carroll. Comes to the left side. Gave it to Bourque. Ends up in the far corner. Potvin and Middleton are there together. Middleton got it to McNabb. McNabb put it out in front. It's under Pearson. He falls down on top of the puck. McNabb managed to jab it loose, and it's in the mesh at the side of the net. Now some pushing and shoving. It wouldn't have happened if the whistle sounded when the puck was under Pearson in the first place.
The whistle. There's McNabb as he tried to put it in front and did. Stephon Pearson dropped down on the puck, Look at McNabb. Look at the opportunity that McNabb had. I did not see that in live action, but his backhand shot, Billy Smith got a piece of. Peterson gives Billy Carroll a little bit of a shove up against the crossbar. Close-up look at Gord Lane in the penalty box, talking with...
The off-ice officials working tonight are from Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
Now here's Bork at the right point. Into the corner to McNabb. Out in front to O'Connell. Shot it to the corner instead of firing it toward the net. McNabb back to Bork. A long shot. Smith the save. He jumped off his skates to get up in the air to block that drive. And the stick's up in the air again. 42 seconds remaining in Gordy Lane's high-sticking penalty.
More penalties. One to Boston and one to Ken Morrow of the Islanders.
Keith Crowder for the Bruins. And now Morrow. They're called at 17:07. Still 42 seconds left in the penalty to Lane.
Islanders penalty number 6, Ken Morrow. 2 minutes each for high sticking. Time of the penalty.
High sticking the call on Morrow and Keith Crowder.
The Islanders 2 each, high sticking.
It was after the play had stopped. See the glove in under the chin, then the elbow back in the face. Little parcels.
All the way down the ice, Peters leaving it for O'Connell. Trache is replaced by Billy Carroll. Goring is the other forward. Potvin and Johnson on defense. O'Connell sends McNabb down the left side to center ice. Peter McNabb shot it off the glass into the far corner. Potvin knocks it away from Peterson. Here's O'Connell at the right point. Into the corner, into the skates of Potvin. Peterson digs it loose. Goring is on top of him. Peterson puts it out in front. Middleton shoots. He scores! Middleton on a power play set up by Peterson.
It may not scare too many people in the Nassau Coliseum, but it's something for the Bruins to work on with 2 minutes and 21 seconds remaining in the second period. Peterson digs the puck away from Butch Goring to Middleton, and he's dangerous. The right-handed shooting Middleton put it in to the right of Billy Smith. He just had enough room. He used it, and it's 7-4 with this shot by Rick Middleton coming from Peterson.
Middleton's second goal of the game is 11th of the playoffs at 17:39. So it's 7-4 Islanders, and here's Middleton at the Islander line again. He's checked this time, but Potvin starts up.
Time of the goal,
Power play goal, by the way, for Middleton.
Middleton, second of the game.
Offside is called as Potvin picks up the puck inside the Boston blue line.
17:39.
Now the New York Islander Nassau County Summer Hockey School will be held again this summer at Cadillac Park in Hicksville. It'll get underway on July 11th and run in a series of 8 one-week sessions until September 3rd. For information, call Cadillac Park. Area code 516-935-3501 is the number. 935-3501 for information on the New York Islanders Nassau County Summer Hockey School. Give an assist to Michael Connell in the power play goal by Middleton along with Peterson. Anders Kaller, Mike Bossy, and Brian Trache up front for the Islanders. The Bruins trying to come out of their own zone. Bruins for the Islanders. Krushelinski won the draw, and here's Park. Brad Park got it to Krushelinski into center ice. The pass to Casper was broken up by Stefan Persson. Brent Sutter trying to move down the right boards. Is checked. Here's Casper with it. Dave Casper, drop pass. Krushelinski back to Casper. Casper moves it back to the net. Gordy Lane. A little trouble moving the puck. Finally got it to Gillies. Mark Gillies tied up by Bruce Crowder. They freeze it on the boards, and there's no further play. And again, sticks are up immediately. This time it's Casper and Brent Sutter.
Everything is a test. Lane and Klusak staring down at each other. Krushelinski has Clark Gillies step in, and
folks around the country who pick up the newspapers following games say, can't be. Misprint. But it is not. The Islanders have, indeed, outscored Pete Peters in this building by incredible numbers. Trache tied up by O'Connell. Bossy going back to the net. Got it to Anders Kaller. Turn to get away from Melnick. Kaller comes to the short side.
It was stopped right at the goal post by Peters, and now as Bossy is dragged down, O'Connell is going to go out for a holding. 56 seconds left in the period, and Mike O'Connell heads for the penalty box.
They're trying to figure out how to stop Mike Bossy. He has scored 4 goals in this hockey game so far. No one seems to be effective. They have Dufour on him some of the time. They've even had Bork on him some of the time. O'Connell gets a holding penalty. There's Bossy in front of the net. In behind him comes Mike O'Connell. Pulls him down as Peterson steams away with the puck from behind the net. But O'Connell has drawn a penalty.
So on this power play, we'll watch Trottier at center ice, Bossy on the left side, Kaller on the right, with Janssen and Potvin at the points. It is 7-4 in favor of the New York Islanders. Bossy fed it back to Potvin, into Mike Bossy, and again to Potvin. Over to Janssen. Held it right at the blue line. Gave it to Kaller. Kaller knocked down by Ray Bork. The puck went loose, and Krushelinski shoots down the ice. Billy Smith comes out to block that. Leaves it for the Islander captain, Denny Potvin. Into center ice. Across the Boston line. Tried to walk in around Park. Got filled with one of those hip checks that Potvin likes to throw. Trottier to Janssen. Janssen lugs it over the line. Went right side to Bossy. Bossy back to Potvin. He shoots. Peters the save, and it's in his pads. Now Morrow has finished serving his penalty along with Keith Crowder. They were not up on the board. Coincidental minor penalties with Lane already off at the time. We still have 17 ticks of the clock left in the period. Mike Bossy. 4 goals tonight. 3 of them here in the second. He has a playoff total of 15.
Dennis Potvin. Brad Park lines him up. Good check. Potvin down heavily after a barrel roll by Brad Park.
That's the check I referred to as the one that Potvin likes to throw.
Call it a Leo Boyven special.
Yes. Here's Bossy cutting in. Got it to Trottier in the corner. Unable to get it out in front to Bossy again. Krushelinski tried to Trottier, and Kozak shoots it down the ice. That's going to do it for the second period as Billy Smith leaves the puck for Potvin. The horns sound. The Islanders, who led by 1 goal coming to the second period, go to the dressing room with a 3-goal lead. Our score at the end of 2 periods from the Nassau Coliseum is the New York Islanders 7, the Boston Bruins 4. Coliseum with the New York Islanders leading the Boston Bruins by a score of 7-4. All that Mike Bossy has done through 2 periods is tie the NHL record for 3 goals in a period. That's held by 15 others in the playoffs. Tied the record for 3 hat tricks in a year. Tying with Mark Messier of Edmonton, he's tied the record for 2 hat tricks in 1 series. Bentley in 1944, Ullman in 64, and the Islanders came within a whisker of making it 8-4 as they have a power play going here. Potvin in that Boston zone, got it to Bossy, to the boards for Potvin, around to Trottier. Brian Trottier fed it to the point to Thomas Janssen. Back in deep for Anders Kaller. Kaller to Bossy, swings back to the net with it, comes out in front, this Trottier with the feed. There's Thomas Janssen trying to pull it away from Casper, lost it to Bork, and the Bruins start back. 30 seconds left in the Islander power play. O'Connell sitting out a holding penalty. Potvin from back to the net, leads the rush. Into center ice. Potvin fired it off the boards. It bounces back to the net. There's Clark Gillies out on right wing. Gave it to Trottier. Trottier trying to find Bossy in front of the net. Or Gillies. It came out the side of the goal. They bang at it. Now Trottier moves in. Digs it loose. Gave it to Bossy. To Trottier. Gillies parked in front. Again, they can't get the puck to him for the moment. Bossy being tied up by Kozak. Trottier, rather, and Bossy slipped it to the side of the net. Brad Park is there. Teams at 6 aside again. Gillies runs into Kozak. Up goes Andy Van Helleman's arm. Now the whistle sounds. And we're going to get a penalty. Peters had come up with a save. It wouldn't have mattered. The penalty is going to Clark Gillies. Peters stretched out on the ice as we watch Gillies head for the box. A break in the action.
Kozak takes a cross check across the upper arms and the back from Clark Gillies. That is what got him the penalty.
It is called at the 1:17 mark. Faceoff will be just outside the Boston blue line. One other record for Mike Bossy with his hat trick here tonight.
has tied the record for goals in a semifinal or quarterfinal series. With Reggie Leach did it in 1976. Bill Barber did it in 1980. Oh, Goring just stole the puck and shot it over the crossbar. Goring and Carroll have been awesome tonight when it comes to breaking up the Boston power.
The puck hit his stick, Peter's stick. Butch Goring took a shot at the puck. It was deflected up into the seats.
Now O'Connell gave it to Peterson. Across it goes to Krushelinski to Bork. Bork into the Islanders zone to Middleton on right wing. Middleton to Peterson, has to chase it around the boards. Persson stepped in front of him, couldn't clear it out of there. Here's Peterson. Plays it back of the net. Billy Smith out to clear it, lost it. Middleton puts it out in front, but there was Billy Carroll, and the Islanders have shot it down the ice. A goal here on the power play. It's 7-5, and the Bruins, although not right back into the thick of it, are getting closer. But there's still 1:10 left in this penalty against Clark Gillies. Peterson at center ice. Left side to Middleton. Offside as well.
While it is not likely.
O'Connell and Park are on the points for Boston. McNabb is at center ice between McNavish and Keith Crowder. Park across to O'Connell. Starts the rush. O'Connell, a right-handed shooting defenseman, has dumped it into the Islanders zone. In goes Crowder. Billy Carroll poked the puck loose. It'll be picked up by Morrow. Kenny Morrow. You've got to give that man an awful lot of credit. I guess credit due as well to the Islander training staff, and in particular to Dr. Jeff Minkoff, who did the orthoscopic surgery on Wednesday night. Goring has just poked the puck into the Boston zone, breaking up their rush one more time, and Park lost his balance, managed to recover the puck as he came through in front of the net. Into center ice, there's Thomas Johnson shooting it back for the Boston end. 17 seconds left in the penalty to Clark Gillies. Keith Crowder overskates the puck at his own blue line. Got it back to Park. Brad Park across the line, trying to cut through the defense, was bumped by Potvin, and then Bourne tied him up. Bob Bourne clears it to the point, held in by McTavish. Greg McTavish trying to set up in front. Potvin knocked it away from him, and Clark Gillies has cleared it down the ice. This will result in an icing call as Gillies had just finished serving the cross-checking pitches.
Yes, they are not waiting for a train either. Their heads are working fast. Cheever's trying to devise something that'll get his team a goal and get going. Al Arbour wants to make sure that's not going to happen. He wants to align his defensive posture so that the Bruins do not get the kind of shots it takes to score goals. Of course, then they got to get it behind Billy Smith. And so they got 4. You never know.
Now the puck flipped ahead by Potvin, brought down the left side by Wayne Merrick. He's over the Boston line, trying to work in around the defense. The puck went right to Peters. It was Hillier who had tied up Merrick, and now Kluzak has it. Gord Kluzak to Middleton, checked by Potvin, who dumps it in. Peters steers it aside for Kluzak. That was Bossy in forechecking on Kluzak, and the Bruins shoot it off the boards into the Islanders zone. Janssen moves it out to center ice. Kluzak poked at it, got it to Trottier, now to Gillies. Clark Gillies comes over the Boston line, leaned into Hillier, and the puck is cleared off Trottier. The Bruins move up the right side. Peterson over to Middleton. It bounced over his stick. He recovers, trying to come in around Janssen and can't do it. Mike Bossy gives it to Trottier. Trottier around the boards. Potvin chases it. Now Gillies picks it up on left wing. Clark Gillies played it back of the net to Janssen, to Bossy. Bossy dumps one into center ice. Brad Park hustles across for the Bruins. He and Meldick are together on the Boston defense at the moment. Bork has moved up as a forward. He's checked at the blue line, and Potvin comes over center ice. Has Tonelli with him. Potvin trying to cut it on goal. Shoots. Peters the save, and he covers up.
Close call. Dennis Potvin races down the ice. He loves the opportunity. Got the shot away, but Peters held his ground. He stood up this time and challenged the shooter. Here's the shot by Potvin. Point blank range. He was right in the scoring position, but he got the puck up high and shot it right at the goaltender.
Krushelinski got it to the corner. Melnick carries it around behind the net. Nystrom into forecheck. Now Lane off the left point, dumped it to the corner. Merrick right on top of Brad Park, knocked him down, and Wayne Merrick will get a holding penalty. So Merrick goes to the box, and the Bruins set up on the power play one more time. A break in the action, 15 minutes.
Merrick's holding penalty on Brad Park. Merrick grabbed a hold of Park, swung him around, tipped him over. Down went Park. Off went Merrick.
Fifth power play of the game for the Boston Bruins. We watch O'Connell come across the line. Tried to feed it through to McNabb. Off his stick as Morrow tied him up, and Billy Carroll is chased to the boards by Keith Crowder. Back came Goring. To the blue line, held in by Bork. Cuts in off right wing. Ray Bork. Being watched by Goring. Now Morrow moves up on him, forcing Bork back. Bork got it in along the boards. McTavish to Keith Crowder. Keith Crowder unable to center it cleanly. McTavish to McNabb out in front. Keith Crowder was checked as he shot it wide. McNabb trying to put it out in front of the Islander net. Can't do it, and Morrow slaps it around the boards and down the ice. 40 seconds gone and the penalty time to Merrick. O'Connell will set it up once again. Mike O'Connell, right side to Peterson. Peterson shoots it high off the glass in the Islander zone. Bork and Persson after it. Persson got it to the left side for Bob Bourne. Starts out with Billy Carroll. 2-on-2 as they come to center ice. Bourne over the line with a shot that went wide. Krushelinski picks it up on left wing. Drops it back to the net for O'Connell. Mike O'Connell, with 50 seconds left in the power play, comes to center ice and golfs it into the Islander zone. Almost shot it right at Johnson, it appeared. Johnson pokes it into the corner. There's Peterson for the Bruins. To O'Connell. He shoots. Smith kicks that aside. Bork off the left point. That's one go in front to Peterson. Swatman fell in front of him. They gave the puck to Middleton. Back to Peterson. Peterson backhands it in front. It was tipped by Johnson. Picked up by Middleton. Center. Smith dives on top of it and holds it. 25 seconds left in Merrick's penalty. 13:29 left in regulation time.
Seems like a lot of time, 13 minutes and a half, but it'll run down quick for the Bruins. It'll seem to drag for the Islanders.
Now Trottier against Peterson on this face-off. Yeah, with a 3-goal lead, you just like to get it over with. And you probably wish you were a missile and you'd just put yourself into Edmonton in time for Tuesday rather than that long 7-hour flight out there. Johnson wrestled down at center ice, and the fans yelling about that as Potvin brings the puck into the Boston zone and shot it wide. Picks up his own rebound and flipped that wide as he went to the backhand. And again, the Islanders trying to riddle this Boston power play, and they have done it. Bob Bourne with the puck, trying to set up Goring. Teams are at 6 aside again. Here's Brad Park. Park out to center ice. Krushelinski to Peterson. Steps across the line with Middleton. Peterson to Bork. Lines up for a shot. That went wide on the glove side. Nystrom takes over on right wing. Nystrom checked by Peterson. Merrick pokes it into the Boston zone. Picks it up. Bork chases him back to the net. He put it out in front, but there was nobody there at the moment. This is Brad Park. Across from the left side to Dufour. His shot went high and wide of the net. It's picked up by Lane. Gordy Lane dumps it into the center ice zone. Wayne Merrick dropped it to Tonelli over the Boston line. John Tonelli to Nystrom on right wing. Nystrom cuts into the backhand shot. They score! Wayne Merrick and Nystrom team up along with Tonelli. It is 8-4.
They do not need a lot of opportunities, but when they get them, they put them in. Wayne Merrick finishes off a play started by John Tonelli to Bob Nystrom. Park takes Tonelli. Nystrom brings the puck in front, and Wayne Merrick finishes it with a backhand, making it 8-4. Look at the hip check by Park. Look where Peters is. Peters is back over by the gate where the Bruins come on and off the ice with his lunge at Bob Nystrom. Merrick tapped it in the open net.
The assist to number 23, Bob Nystrom. Number 27.
Nystrom and Tonelli assisting on Merrick's goal at 7:41.
First of the playoffs from Nystrom and Tonelli.
And with 12 minutes left,
41.
The Bruins need 4 to tie, 5 to beat the Islanders. Could be more. Tonelli, a backhander, went wide. Picked up by Casper. Casper checked by Tonelli. The puck loose in the far corner. Merrick can't get around Casper. They go to the boards together. And frozen it long enough for a fence. Sutter takes this face-off against McNabb. Pulled it back to Persson. A shot was right on. Peters handled that. Left it for Melnick to the right side to Keith Crowder. Bumped by Brent Sutter. Here's Potvin. He shot it wide of the Boston net. McTavish who has 2 of the Boston goals tonight, leads the rush into the center ice area. He has 1. Middleton has 2. Brent Sutter with a shot. That was blocked by Melnick. Brent Sutter dumps it into the corner. Mark Gillies charges it after it. It's bumped by Melnick. Brad Park there as well. They tie it up on the boards. We'll get another face-off.
And some of the players. Here's the replay of Wayne Merrick's first playoff goal. He just surpassed Billy Harris and Jude Druin, 9th place in the Islanders playoff scoring list.
Boy, some names out of the past there, huh?
Oh, I've seen a few names go down the way today. Gordie Howe is being threatened now by Bossy if he gets 1 more goal.
Wow. At center ice, O'Connell fires it around the boards in the Islanders zone. That's Persson. McNabb on top of him. Peter McNabb can't come out of the corner. He and Persson chase it back of the net. There comes Potvin. Potvin into center ice. The crowd sets up another chant. They've been singing Tuesday night. They've been singing Goodbye Bruins. Now the Islanders have been called for icing the puck. Stanley Cup just went up on the board, on the matrix board. There's the image of it, and that's the reason for the applause. It may have been We Want the Cup, and they obliged that way. Mike Bossy around the boards and out into center ice. O'Connell will pick up the puck. We have half the 3rd period remaining, but the Islanders are leading 8-4 as Bossy picked up an errant puck. Didn't control it long enough. Now turns at center ice. Mike Bossy bumped immediately. Middleton with it. Over the Islander line. Gave it to Krushelinski. Centered one in front. Trottier broke it up. Ryan Trottier into the center ice zone. Krushelinski drags him down from behind. There'll be a penalty here to the Bruins. Oh, we get a break in the action as well.
Hooked him twice and got away with it. The 3rd time, Trottier knew he had him. So he went down. Krushelinski went off for hooking.
So the Islanders leading 8-4, play 6 against 5. Bourne gave it to Persson and then right back to Bourne. Across to Potvin. Potvin snuck in, rink wide to Persson. He shoots, knocked down in front, shot wide by Brent Sutter, and Kluzak has cleared it out of there and back into the Islander end of the ice. Bob Bourne with the puck. To Persson, around behind the net for Potvin. Gave it to Brent Sutter. 3 Bruins back. Brent Sutter gets across the line around Kluzak. Can't get his shot away as he got tangled up at the last second. The puck loose. Brent Sutter kicked it free for Dwayne to the blue line to Potvin. Potvin unloads one. It was cleared aside by Kluzak. Persson across to Potvin. Kenny back to Stefan Persson. Persson to the right side to Bourne. Bourne gives it to Potvin. Cuts back to the right. Potvin into the corner for Bob Bourne. He shoots. That hit Kluzak. Brent Sutter comes out of the corner with it. Headed to Bourne. Being watched by Barr. Bob Bourne at the edge of the face-off circle. Dwayne Sutter couldn't make contact with it as he cut in neatly, and the Bruins again have shot it down the ice. Now 50 seconds remaining in the penalty to Krushelinski. Both teams change on the fly as Persson starts out. Trottier, Bossy, and Keller are the forwards. The Islanders have shot it into the Boston zone. Bork touches up, and the Islanders have been called for icing the puck, including cocktails, and can be purchased only in person at the Nassau Coliseum box offices all next week. Tickets are on a first-come, first-served basis, so you must act promptly if you wish to attend this great event next Sunday at the Marriott Hotel. Anders Keller, Mike Bossy, Brian Trottier deep in the Boston zone. Trottier got it to Keller into the corner. Trottier was dragged down as O'Connell got a piece of them. And the puck has been cleared down into the Islanders zone. 5 seconds left in this penalty to Krushelinski. The Islanders 8, the Boston Bruins 4 in Game 6 of this best-of-7 series. The winner will meet Edmonton for the Stanley Cup. Long pass from Potvin, just barely missed Keller at the blue line. Keller trying to come out of the corner. Nystrom in to help out. Played it deeper into the corner, and we get a whistle with 7:27 left and a break in the action as well. Our scores: the New York Islanders 8, the Boston Bruins 4.
By the fans here in the Coliseum.
The Long Island Glee Club. John Tonelli into the corner. He and Brad Park. Park knocked the puck ahead. It was knocked down by Tonelli. To Merrick. Oh, what a save by Peters. Got the left pad in the stick check out there. Now Tonelli stuck back to the goal. Check by Park. Got it out in front again. Nystrom got a whack at it. Couldn't make contact. Here's Wayne Merrick into the corner to Bob Nystrom. Trying to pull away from McNabb. Was checked, and McNabb feeds it up to Keith Crowder. Keith Crowder comes over the center ice stripe into the Islanders zone, trying to cut in around Morrow and couldn't do it. Keith Crowder dropped it back. Luzak works it to the corner. Billy Smith started out of the net, thought better of it. Here's McNabb, puts it out in front of the net. That's cleared by Morrow to Nystrom. Nystrom turns inside his own blue line. Finds an opening, gives the puck to Tonelli. Tonelli to Merrick. Off his stick and into the Boston zone. He and Hillier slam together. Randy Hillier, who's playing on a bad leg, moves it to the left side, and down they come, led by McTavish. Couldn't hold on to the puck. Merrick to Dwayne Sutter. Now to John Tonelli. Comes over the Boston line. Tonelli trying to work around Hillier. Slam it through, but Dwayne Sutter couldn't get up there in time. Dwayne Sutter back to Tonelli. John Tonelli to Dwayne Sutter. Out in front for Brent Sutter. Chased to the corner by Hillier. Brent Sutter gives it to Dwayne. Dwayne Sutter unable to come out of the corner. He was knocked down in the play. There's Krushelinski on the far side of the ice. Less than 6 minutes remaining in the game. Krushelinski gave it to Potvin at center ice. Ahead to Brent Sutter. Comes over the Boston line. Brent Sutter can't cut in. Ran into a couple of Bruins. Knocked both of them down. Now again, Krushelinski got control of the puck again. Gillies' shot was blocked. Here's Gillies rounding the net. In the far corner, got it back to Janssen. Janssen's shot was knocked down, and the Bruins come to center. Dufour to Crowder. Bruce Crowder is checked by Potvin. The puck loose in the Boston zone. Nystrom got a stick on it. It's deflected up into the crowd, and there's no further play.
If the Islanders win tonight, Jiggs, and it looks like they're going to, Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals will be seen exclusively on SportsChannel Saturday night at 8 o'clock. When Dennis Potvin, John Tonelli, Bobby Nystrom, and the rest of the three-time champions face off against Wayne Gretzky and the Edmonton Oilers, as the Islanders go for their 4th straight Stanley Cup. Find out if the Islanders will keep the cup on Long Island. Starting with the Islanders preview at 7:30, exclusively on SportsChannel.
The series will begin in Edmonton. The first 2 games scheduled for Tuesday and Thursday of next week. They'll be on Islander television on WOR, and we'll be back with you on SportsChannel next Saturday night for Game 3 of the series. The 10:30 Eastern time for the first 2 games. Here's Bossy with a shot. Peters made the save. Bossy gets another whack at it, ends up in the corner. Melnick unable to clear it out of his own zone. Here's Mike Bossy peeling in off the right wing. Goes back to the net with it. Comes out in front. Bossy's pass cleared all the way back to the blue line, and Potvin has it at center ice. He's checked by Middleton, but Bossy caught up. Gave it to Janssen, now to Trottier. Ryan Trottier shot it in wide of the goal. The Islanders are 4 minutes and 40 seconds away from a date with the Edmonton Oilers, the winner to control for another year the Stanley Cup. Ray Bourque dumps the puck into center ice. Nystrom to Morrow. Now to Lane. Out to Tonelli, when bouncing off him, picked up by Merrick, comes over the line on left wing. Wayne Merrick in front to Nystrom, and it went off his stick and wide. John Tonelli unable to control it. The Bruins start back. Krushelinski to Middleton across the line, working on Lane. Ends up in the corner. Morrow and Krushelinski run into one another, and Wayne Merrick feeds it to John Tonelli. Has a break down the left side. Casper trying to catch up with him. Tonelli cuts it on goal. Is wrestled down by Casper. No penalty on the play. And Bourque starts from back of the net. And again, Tonelli is knocked down back of the goal, this time by Casper. Ray Bourque trying to send McNabb in on the left side. He shoots. Smith got a piece of it. Here's Park from the blue line. Smith down in front to make that save. We get a break in the action with 3 minutes and 39 seconds left in regulation time. The score, the Islanders 8, the Bruins 4. Face-off in the circle to the left of Billy Smith. Potvin in the corner, being tied up. McNabb put it out in front. This is McTavish, chased to the corner by Thomas Janssen, and Denny Potvin there as well. Well, they'll face off again in the Islanders zone.
Did you know this, Jiggs? Billy Carroll needs only 62 more goals to pass Bossy as the all-time Islanders scoring leader.
Don't pick on Billy. Well, he came close to getting a short-handed goal.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Peters had to make another good save off him.
Now the Islanders must look ahead to the Edmonton Oilers, who scored 424 goals in the regular season. In 12 playoff games, have scored 74 goals. Blew out a good Chicago Blackhawk team in Edmonton by big scores. And here the Islanders trying to make it 9. That was blocked and comes back to the right point. Thomas Johnson to Clark Gillies. A backhand shot. Blocked in front of the net by Hilliard. Gillies trying to go back to the goal. Bozak ties up Wayne Sutter. Now McTavish and Gillies came together in a heavy collision. The puck has been frozen for a face-off.
Clark Gillies would love to get a goal. Make himself feel a little more as a part of the production of the Islanders' offense. Billy Smith, 17-3 in his last 20 playoff games.
Ann Arbor making some changes. Out comes Wayne Merrick with Bob Nystrom and John Tonelli. Butch Goring getting a rest. We haven't seen a lot of him since the first period. He has seen duty as a penalty killer when called upon, but not so much in regular shifts anymore. John Tonelli on the draw, got tied up by Barnes. Little less than 3 minutes to play in this game. The Islanders will open in Edmonton on Tuesday night. We'll be back here next Saturday for game number 3 in the series. The Stanley Cup luncheon will be Sunday. A week from tomorrow, that'll be May 15th at the Marriott Hotel. And game 4 on the Tuesday night, along with the Masterton Trophy and the Player of the Year award to Wayne Gretzky. Watch Morrow clearing the puck out of his own end of the ice. O'Connell will pick it up at center. O'Connell headed off and nailed it. Moves it ahead to Bruce Crowder. Into the Islanders zone, coming in on goal. He shoots, spits the toe save. The rebound, hit the post, and spun right on the doorstep. Cleared out by Merrick. Back to O'Connell. O'Connell's drive. Smith steers on the side. Bobby Nystrom. Not going to make much difference in the outcome of the game, if any difference. But you want to keep those goals against down, and the Islander goaltender, Billy Smith, got a little help from the goal post. His old pal. Now the puck hits Trottier and bounces into the...
Stopped by Smith. There's the rebound. There it is, off the goal post. It lays. Smith whacked at it, knocked it out of the goal crease with the end of his goal stick. Wayne Merrick cleared it.
Now a minute and a half left as we watch Brad Park play it across to Ray Bourque. Bourque at the center ice stripe has dumped it wide of Billy Smith. Denny Potvin around the boards, got away from Thomas Janssen. He and Dufour try to tie it up. And loose for Trottier. Tries the left wing side. Gillies chases it into center ice. Brad Park was there. Got it to Casper, to Krushelinski, and he was checked by Trottier. Brad Park across to Bourque. Bourque off the boards to Dufour. Luke Dufour goes drink wide out of the reach of Casper. Now 1 minute to remain. Mike Bossy dumps it into the corner. Ray Bourque takes it there. Bourque shoots it around the boards in the Islanders' zone. Wayne Sutter back to Thomas Johnson. To Potvin. Potvin, who's had at least a point in every game in the series, moves it into center ice to Clark Gillies. The fans are on their feet with 34 seconds left. Boyd Kluzak shoots it around the boards. McTavish on the left side. Here's Casper at center ice. Steve Casper, a long shot, steered aside by Billy Smith. Thomas Johnson will pick up the puck. We're down to 18 seconds left. Boyd Kluzak. McTavish is checked by Wayne Sutter. Sutter puts it into the Boston zone. It'll be like going home for the Sutter brothers for that visit in Edmonton. 4 seconds left. McTavish with one hand to the back of the net. There's the horn. The New York Islanders are the Prince of Wales Conference champions and will beat the Edmonton Oilers in the Stanley Cup final. Now the Bruins come out more to console one another, and goaltender Pete Peters and anything else, and you see the Islander end of the ice. It was a confident Islander team. Veterans, completely. Billy Smith heads for the Islander dressing room. He does not take part in the handshakes that are traditional. And there is Pete Peters.
said earlier, a fine young man. The Bruins are finished after having the best record in the league in the regular season, and now you see the handshake in the center ice area. Butch Goring got it all started with the goal at 33-second mark tonight. And Mike Bossy virtually put on a one-man show from there as he scored 4 times and has a playoff total now of 15. And the final series will open in Edmonton on Tuesday night. We'll have the action for you on WOR-TV at 10:30 Tuesday and Thursday night. And we'll be back with you here at the Nassau Coliseum exclusively on SportsChannel next Saturday night and again the following Tuesday. And while they continue the handshake, may I remind you of the Stanley Cup luncheon to be held at the Marriott Hotel next to the Nassau Coliseum next Sunday afternoon. All the players, coaches from both teams, special individual awards. Tickets will be available only at the Nassau Coliseum box office. Their price is $50 each. Now the presentation of the Prince of Wales Trophy. The Vice President of the Nassau Hockey League is on hand, Mr. Brian O'Neill. Let's join this presentation.
Accepting the trophy on behalf of the Islanders is team captain Dennis Potvin. Budweiser Islander star of the game, Mike Bossy.
Once again, the final scores. The Islanders 8, the Bruins 4. We'll be back with a recap following these messages.
Here at the Nassau County Coliseum, another big moment for the New York Islanders as they double the score on the Boston Bruins 8-4. They win the series 4-2. And looking at the scoring summary of the game tonight against the Bruins, first period action saw the Islanders take a 3-2 lead. In the second period, Bossy had the 3 goals to add to the first period goal he scored, and by then all the Islander fans were wondering if he could tie the record of 5 goals in a Stanley Cup playoff game. At the end of 2 periods, then it was 7-4 for the Islanders. Merrick added a goal in the third period for the 8th of the night, and that was the final, 8-4, the Islanders over the Boston Bruins. The Molson 3-star selections tonight. Mike Bossy, of course, was star number 1 with the 4-goal performance. There he is on your sheet. Brian Trottier, who had 1 goal and 3 assists, was star number 2, and Bob Bourne, who was skating relentlessly all night against the Boston Bruins, earned the 3rd-star selection. Quite a victory for the New York Islanders, who now advance against the powerful Edmonton Oilers, who were watching tonight and waiting for the arrival now in Edmonton of the Islanders. It should be a classic matchup. They have a legitimate contender going for the Cup tonight. We'll return with more of the Stanley Cup playoffs in just a moment.
When CN says we're in business for Canada, we mean the whole country. In the West, for example, CN has begun doubling its main track. Where there is a single line now, there will be 2. Why? Because more efficient transportation of grain and other exports benefits every Canadian and helps to build a truly national economy. CN, in business for Canada.
Watch this. The man with the briefcase is a Bank of Montreal banker. The man he is calling on owns his own company. The banker is about to sign a document unique in Canadian banking. First Bank Financial Agreement, our formal commitment which spells out in writing the terms of all the services we provide to each business customer, and we sign it right on the dotted line. First Bank Financial Agreement, another good idea from Bank of Montreal. First Bank for business, not just money. Ideas.
Looking good, Slocum. Wish my sales were. Trying to keep in shape to pound the pavement these days.
Oh, not with 800 service. Now my customers can call me toll-free. No run around, and you can pump up sales without pounding the pavement. It's all an 800 service. Today's way to operate. Just call toll-free 1-800-361-3050 for a free copy. 800 service. The shape of things to come.
800 service. Today's way to operate.
You say you're not well balanced? Jumping? Overreaching? Out of touch? Well, get a horse. A Black & Decker workhorse. A stable work platform you put together easily with these super strong adjustable brackets. Add a platform, clamp in 2x4 legs, and suddenly you're well balanced. You can concentrate no matter how crazy the job is. Get a Black & Decker workhorse. Michelangelo would have loved it. Get a $3 workhorse rebate from us. You've got it made with Black & Decker.
New York Islanders advance to the Stanley Cup Finals, 8-4. The score here against the Bruins tonight. Here was the winning goal. Came at 5:51 of the second period. Trottier behind the net. Mike Bossy will be in front. And there it is, the third goal for Bossy of the hockey game. His third hat trick of the playoffs. And while he got the hat trick, it was Brian Trottier who wears the hat tonight. And we're proud to have you with that Hockey Night in Canada hat, Brian. A good effort. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. Boss had the touch tonight. He was in the right place at the right time. And boy, he's working hard. He was a little upset with the things when Boston the other night. And I didn't give him much help, so we had it going tonight.
Well, Dufour was all over him in the game in Boston, but he had lots of room out there tonight. He made his own space.
Yeah, Boss. Well, he's the type of guy when he makes up his mind to do something out there. And I'll give you a good example. Tonight, Dufour was all over him there in the second period, and Boss was just kind of dancing around, and Dufour had to grope a little bit, but he's a good hockey player, that Dufour. He checked very, very well up in Boston, and it's a good thing he wasn't on him in the rest of the game.
Let's give a little credit to the losers. I thought the Bruins played extremely well. They had some injury problems. Fellows like Middleton and Peterson never quit out there, and Krushelnyski's going to be a big star, I think.
Well, they're a great hockey team. They're a well-disciplined, well-coached hockey team, and you can see that they believe in themselves as young as they are. Like you mentioned, Krushelnyski, Peterson, you got a couple old vets in Park and Middleton. They carried that team well, and they logged a lot of ice time. But I think the most impressive hockey player in that club was Bork. Mm-hmm. The guy just seemed like he was on the ice often, and he skates like the wind. So we had to cut him off as much as we possibly could, and we were able to get at Pete. We got not only one rebound, but a couple other rebounds, and that's what we had to flood that net because he wasn't giving us much to shoot at.
Now, about your own team. Billy Smith, I thought, had an exceptional first period. Held you in there with 4 or 5 really key saves early in the game.
Oh, they had a couple great, they had about 9 good chances. I think Lauren Henning came in and mentioned the fact that they had some 9 really good chances from whether it was breakaways or in the slot shots or the getting a good blast and deflection in front. And like I said, Smitty made the key save. He blocked it, cleared the rebound for us, and those are the type of things that can spark a hockey club and kind of take the wind out of the sail on the other team.
We have a goal that you scored. I think it was the 7th goal of the hockey game, and I think they're ready to play it back here. We'll take a look at this one from Bourne and Morrow at 13-14, I guess. Tell us about this.
I just deflected it there, and it came right back towards me. Now, I see the net, but I got Boss right in the way, and I said, "Come on, Boss." And, geez, it just went through the guy's legs. I didn't know it was... that guy just about blocked it.
Well, he leaped out of the way. Dick was suggesting perhaps you were looking for him to pass the puck to him to get that 5th goal.
Well, probably if he was in a good position, I probably would have slid it to him. But even he said when we came back to the bench, he wasn't in a good position. And, he said I was trying to hop and get out of the way, but he managed to.
How about the Edmonton Oilers? We've got to have your comments on the next opponent along the Stanley Cup playoff trail. Last year was Vancouver, and people said, well, they were lucky to get there, but there's no luck involved with the Oilers being your matchup.
Not at all. It scares you almost, the type of scoring power they have. Again, there's a case of it. Hockey club believes in themselves, and they know they deserve to be there. We're going to have to almost pull up our socks defensively and really execute our system to the utmost to beat them. There's no more that can be said about their team that hasn't already been said. You got Gretzky, Anderson, Messier, and even their third and fourth lines are scoring goals for them. So, you look at their point men, and even their point men have a hand of goals, and you say, geez, what do they do there by the net? And they've been getting a lot of goals from a lot of players. So, there's no keen on any one line or any one guy for that matter.
Well, all of North America looking forward to the first game starting Tuesday night, and good luck to you in the series ahead.
Thank you very much, Brian.
And, of course, I think you hear the cheering from Val Marie. You're almost reaching the east by this time. Let's go upstairs for the final word from Danny and Dick.
Well, Brian, Danny graciously lent Brian his Hockey Night in Canada cap that he wore during the play-by-play broadcast of it. Danny, you and I were talking. We haven't seen the Islanders, of course, play throughout the playoffs, but we've seen them play a few times. And we were talking prior to the game today here in New York that we hadn't been impressed by the New York team. But I was impressed tonight. It's the first time they've looked the way the Islanders are supposed to look, in my eyes anyway, at playoff time.
I was impressed for 2 periods with them, the second, particularly the second. As we mentioned several times on the telecast, that the Bruins could conceivably, on the basis of the actual play from goal line to goal line, could have had a lead. And I think the Islanders, very, very fortunate to come out of that period. They actually had a lead. But this is what a great hockey club does. If you give them an opportunity, they'll take the victim and strap him in the chair and win the game, the big game, and they did it so well tonight. However, I don't know whether they're going to be able to handle the speed of Edmonton. Now, let's not hedge on this. Let's have some predictions.
Oh, wait a minute. First off, there's going to be a lot of analyzing done by media people, almost none of whom have ever laced on a skate or coached a hockey game in the National League. Now, everybody's going to say, how are they going to cover Gretzky and Messier and Anderson? But let me ask this. How are they going to cover Mike Bossy and Brian Trottier and Bob Bourne? I think we're into a matchup that is just going to be a classic.
You mentioned, again, during the third period that, if someone said at the beginning of the playoffs, what 2 teams would you like to see meet in the final series in order that the National Hockey League in the finals would produce its finest caliber of hockey? I think 90% of the people, if they could eliminate any particular association and friendship with players and teams, would say the 2 best teams would be Edmonton and the Oilers, or Edmonton and the Islanders, and we have them here.
You say that so often, and it's true. It gets down to the bottom line of goaltending. We have seen Billy Smith in this situation. It's his 4th year. Andy Moga's had a remarkable playoff. Maybe a forgotten man in the Oilers' scheme of things. Now, the question might be, the experience in the nets could be a very, very important factor when you get away from talking about all the big shooters.
Well, talking about Moga, I've been very impressed with him for some time. I saw him on New Year's night in Edmonton. I worked with Howie Meeker at that time. And the Moog I saw that night against Winnipeg reminded me of the Moog against the Montreal Canadiens and the Islanders in 1981. I saw him against Chicago. I saw him interviewed after one of the games. And this young man exuded nothing but confidence. The confidence that he has that will go along with the immense ability he has. And if he stands up, watch out for Edmonton.
Danny, you're giving me a frantic wind-up here, so I'm sorry I can't give you my prediction. That's it from the broadcast booth. Now here's Brian McFarland.
Oh, Dick, we could have listened longer because that's the kind of conversation going on all across Canada and North America. Who's going to win the big series between the Oilers and the Islanders? The score 8-4, Islanders tonight, and they win the series, go against the Oilers. Looking ahead now, Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals, the Edmonton Oilers and the Islanders at Edmonton, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, Tuesday night. And this is Brian McFarland saying goodbye from the Nassau County Coliseum on Long Island.